Hey guys. All right, today we're going to talk about blog post hierarchy and how you should structure a blog post. And this is important because this is how Google will crawl your website. They send little Google bots in there and they'll go through your website and they need to be told how to read your post and what's the most important thing and how it narrows down and this is good for SEO and it's also good for accessibility. So you think of a screen reader, someone's using a screen reader, and these things tell the screen reader where to go in the blog post. All right. So it's very important. And you always have one H1 on a page, just one, and that's always the blog post title. After that, you might have a little paragraph. Then you might have an H2, which is a section headline, and a couple of paragraphs. And then you get to another section where you have the headlines, some paragraphs, and then you have an H3, a subheadline. And I'm going to show you an example of this right here. Okay, so this is the headline of this um, blog post, and it is an H1 because WordPress will call it an H1. You don't have to do anything to make it an H1. All right. Now the paragraph here is, you can see it's a paragraph, little opening statement paragraph. All right. And then you go to essential clothing. All right. So that's one of the sections of this hiking gear checklist. All right. So essential clothing is sort of a wider section or a wider area to talk about. So there's a little paragraph about what's the essential clothing. And then there's some specific things like moisture wicking base layers. So that's an H3. It all kind of nests like one of those Russian dolls. You know, you have the H1 on the outside, then you open it and there's an H2. And inside that, there's an H3. So it's all nested inside. All right, so here's the H3, and then there's a paragraph explaining it, another paragraph talking about it. And then there's another H3. It's insulating mid layers and then waterproof outer layers, proper hiking pants. This all goes under that essential clothing umbrella. Okay. And then you would go down to navigation tools. Now this should be a advanced text and it's an H2. Navigation tools, we're going on to another subject. We've talked about essential clothing. Now we're going to talk about navigation tools. So you have an H2 there and a little paragraph about it. And then you have an H3, maps and compasses. You see how that narrows it down. And then GPS devices and apps. And then we go back out to another section, hydration and nutrition. And what are the subheadings? Water bottles. And then there's even another water bottles and hydration packs. This is an H3. And then you go down here, water bottles. And then hydration packs, those are H4s. So they're even more specific. So you can see how this goes along. And here's snacks versus meals. And then you have hiking snacks, portable meals. You see how that all just nests inside each other. And this is very important for SEO. Now, here's one thing that you cannot do. All right. You cannot say, well, I'm going to just put paragraph in here, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make the font bigger so that it looks like an H2, and I'm going to make it bold. You're not changing it. It's still a paragraph, and Google and screen readers are going to read that as a paragraph. Okay, they're not going to read it as an H2, no matter how bold you make it or how large you make it or change the font, whatever. It's still going to read it as a paragraph. So this is not the way to do it. You have to come in here and call it an H2 so that Google can read the code behind this. And I could even show you how this code works. So right here, here's essential clothing. And if we inspect this, And this is the code behind it. Um, and right here, if I hover over it, you can see right there it said it right there, H2, it's in red. I don't know if it's kind of hard to see, but I can also see it down here in the code. It says H2. All right. And then underneath it, P is for paragraph. All right. There's an H3 underneath it. Okay. So that's how Google is reading your blog post. It's reading the code. All right. So don't try to fool it. Make sure that these are labeled um, correctly. And the way that you label them is by choosing the correct block to use. Okay. I hope this helps you to be able to get your site optimized.